Dear students, welcome to INSIGHT Academy GS Super Platinum course once again. Today is the class number 5 of your history NCERT. In this class, we will continue with the ancient side of Indian history, and this is going to be the last class of ancient Indian history NCERT book. So, in this class, we will cover chapter number 25, 26, 27, 28 and 29. Chapter number 25 is dealing with developments in the field of philosophy. 6 systems of philosophy, other branches of Indian philosophy will be studied here. Chapter number 26 is dealing with India's cultural contacts with Asian countries. The concept of Greater India or Vritar Bharat is spread of India's soft power beyond Indian boundaries. That will be studied here. Chapter number 27 is dealing with transformation of ancient phase, how ancient times or the ancient systems got evolved into medieval times of later period. Sequence of social change, what kind of social changes were witnessed in India. Legacy in science and civilization. Developments in India in ancient times in the field of science and technology. So, prominent points, the main concepts from these chapters we will study now one by one. First issue here, developments in religion and philosophy. Religion and philosophy are the terms or the phrases which are used together. Philosophy is something about the theories of post-life, theories about heaven, theories about hell, theories about salvation. So, philosophy is dealing with concepts like heaven, hell, salvation, how to attain salvation or freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Religion is dealing with concepts like gods, rituals, ceremonies. So, important developments in the field of religion and philosophy in ancient times will be studied in today's class. First major development in the field of philosophy was the Charvaka philosophy. And this Charvaka philosophy, you have to see that if we start from the age of Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, we find elements of religion philosophy, then we find Vedic age. Religion philosophy were quite well developed. In post-Vedic age, we find Buddhism and Jainism emerging. And around the same time, these many other philosophical dimensions started coming up in India. One of these philosophical dimensions or the developments were in the form of Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka was the founder, and this philosophy is also known as Lokayata philosophy, or his sects. Sect means a subgroup within a religion, Lokayata sect. According to Charvaka, rituals and ceremonies are waste. Charvaka emphasized that Brahmanas created these rituals and ceremonies just to fill their pocket, collect gift from the people. So he said rituals and ceremonies are just as useless as waste. So there is no need of getting into rituals and ceremonies. Eat, drink, and celebrate or marry was his main teaching. He said that you should enjoy the life even if you have to take a loan. So something like American culture, most of the Americans are using credit cards, most of them are in debt. So they enjoy the parties even if they have to spend from their credit card. They don't have to have money necessarily, so they can take loan. So Charvaka philosophy was extremely pragmatic or realistic in nature. It was depicting the harsh reality of life, that you come to this world only once. There is nothing like heaven or hell. When you come to this world, you must use every moment, every hour, every day to enjoy. And even if you have to borrow, but enjoy, because this today's time will never come back. So this is Charvaka philosophy. This Charvaka philosophy is also referred as materialistic philosophy or materialism. Materialism is a philosophy that believes in using wealth, accumulating wealth. In materialism, the life revolves around resources or resources which represent wealth. So Charvaka was representing materialism, or Lokayata sect was representing materialism. Then you find 6 systems of philosophy coming up in India. These 6 systems of philosophy started in 6th century BC or somewhere around 600 BC, and they continued to evolve till around 400 AD. So these 6 systems of philosophy did not come up at the same time. Some of these were even in early medieval age. Early medieval age means the period from 750 to 1200 AD. These 6 systems of philosophy represent the crux of Indian thought. And these thinkings, these ideas, these philosophical elements can be seen in India even today. Let us see them one by one. Sankhya school of philosophy. Sankhya is the oldest among these 6 systems of philosophy. Founder Kapila or Kapila Muni was the founder. It is oldest among these 6 systems. It is materialistic in nature. It deeply influenced by Charvaka philosophy, or it is a kind of offshoot of Charvakism or Lokayata sect. According to Kapil Muni, knowledge was the gateway to salvation, or knowledge leads to salvation, or for salvation you need to attain knowledge. Sankhya system was atheistic in nature. Atheistic means it does not believe in existence of God. So it is atheistic, or it was atheistic, it did not accept the existence of God. That's a very important point about Sankhya system of philosophy. The second here was Vaisesika school. Founder Uluk Kanad or Kanad Rishi. Vaisesika Shutra is the main book of this system of philosophy. It is also known as School of Physics. or school of atomism. It believes that the universe is made of atoms, or atom is the smallest component of this universe, or the atom itself represents a kind of universe. So, a school of physics marks the beginning of physics in India. Atomism is associated with Vaisesika school, considers that the world is made of the smallest elements known as atoms. Yoga school is the next one. Founder Patanjali. Patanjali was a court poet, not court poet, court priest. Patanjali was court priest of Pushyamitra Sunga. Now try to connect with time. Pushyamitra Sunga was the person who established the Shunga dynasty by killing the last Mauryan king Brihadratha. So Patanjali was somewhere around 180-185 BC. It means from 600 BC now we have moved to 180-85 BC. Patanjali was chief priest of Pushyamitra Sunga. Patanjali was the founder of this sect. Control over senses leads to salvation. Control over body and mind leads to salvation. That is the philosophy of yoga school. Yoga Sutra of Patanjali is the main book. So if you can control your body, your mind, that is the gateway to attain salvation, to get liberty from the cycle of birth and death. Nyaya school of philosophy, founder was Akshpad Gautam. Rishi Gautam. It is also known as a school of logic and reasoning. So it believes in attaining knowledge through logic and reasoning. Knowledge is considered as the path of salvation. So knowledge is the key to liberty, key to heaven. School number 5, Mimamsa school. Gemini was the founder, Rishi Gemini. This school is often termed as Purva Mimamsa. Mimamsa or Purva Mimamsa. It believes that salvation is possible through Vedic rituals. So this school believes in the efficacy of Vedic rituals, that salvation is possible through the performance of Vedic rituals. That is Mimamsa school. And the last one is Vedanta, often termed as Uttar Mimamsa. So Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa. Founder was Badrayan. So you should know the founders of each of these 6 systems of philosophy. And what was the path of salvation? Knowledge. or realization of truth was the path of salvation. This Vedanta school of philosophy or Uttar school of philosophy was carried further by Sankaracharya. Sankaracharya was associated with the same. Sankaracharya was from 788 to 820. He lived only for 32 years, but he left a lasting impact on human life. He was born in Kerala at Kaladi. He believed in the philosophy of Advait or Advaitvad. Advait means monism. Monism means only one exists. And who is this one? Only Brahm exists. Or Brahmadev is the only reality. Brahm is the only reality, everything else is illusion. So Brahma, Prajapati Brahma, the maker of this universe, he said everything around us is Brahm only. He said Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So whatever you see the digital board, or you see this pen, or the camera, or the light, or the bricks, or the stone, air, fire, water, everything, what is said is just a form of Brahm. That's Advaita philosophy. And that is the philosophy. Here also knowledge, realization of truth. Truth is that Brahm is the only reality. Everything else is illusion. So Brahm Satya, Jagat Mithya. That's what Sankaracharya said. Sankaracharya believed in idea of Nirguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma means Brahma who was without attributes. Its Brahma is not having, or Brahma does not have any specific shape. So you cannot put Brahma in a particular picture or the sculpture or anything to worship it. That's a Nirguna Brahma. Knowledge is the key to salvation, because knowledge is required to differentiate between illusion and the truth. Our knowledge is required to see that only Brahm exists. Everything around us, including us, are Brahm only. Sankaracharya played an important role in cultural unity of India. So he established mathas. 4 main mathas were established by him in 4 different corners of India. Tradition of Tirth Yatra or pilgrimage was started by him so that people from south will go to Badrinath in north, or Dwarka in west Gujarat, or Jagannath Puri in Odisha, or Sringeri in south. So these 4 mathas, Badrinath, Uttarakhand, Dwarka, Gujarat, Jagannath Puri, Odisha in east, and Sringeri Matha in south. So culture of Tirth Yatras or pilgrimage commenced from here. He defeated Buddhist monks in religious discussions and played an important role in the decline of Buddhism. Many of the Buddhist elements were adopted by him. So whatever was good in Buddhism was adopted by Sankaracharya, and that is why he was often termed as crypto-Buddhist or pseudo-Buddhist or kind of half-Buddhist. This was great Sankaracharya or Adi Sankaracharya. Sankaracharya started the tradition of Panchayatana worship. Panchayatana worship was started by him. In this Panchayatana worship, 5 deities were worshipped together. Pancha means 5, Yatana worship. So in this Panchayatana worship, 5 deities were worshipped together. 5 deities: Vishnu, Sun, Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh. This combination could be others also. It's not that they are the only 5 deities, but the 5 prominent deities, and this was the most common combination: Vishnu, Sun, Shiva, Parvati and Ganesh. These 5 deities were worshipped together, and this concept of Panchayatana was developed by him again to strengthen unity, to forge the bonds of unity, cultural unity, religious unity among the people in India. So he played an important role in revitalization, in resurgence of Hindu culture, in re-strengthening of Hindu religion, in bringing the people together, in spreading awareness among them, in pulling them out of the cycles of degeneration and evils. This is one example of Panchayatana temple. This is a Kandriya Mahadev temple at Khajuraho. Very prominent temple. This was built in Chandela times in early medieval age, somewhere around 1000 AD. So here if you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the main temple. There are 4 smaller temples around the one main temple. This one main temple is the temple of Shiva, and then Parvati, Ganesh, Vishnu and Sun are worshipped in other 4 temples. So Panchayatana temple is an important feature. Example, Kandriya Mahadev temple, Khajuraho, and this Panchayatana concept was started by Adi Sankaracharya. Ramanujacharya was another prominent religious philosopher. Ramanuja was part of tradition of acharyas. And you have to see that Sankaracharya, Sankar was also acharya, but Sankaracharya was not a part of this tradition of acharyas of which Ramanuj was a part. Acharya means great teacher, and these acharyas used to be head of Sringeri Matha. Ramanuj was the first. Ramanujacharya believed in concept of bhakti. He considered that grace of God was essential for salvation. So without grace of God, there was no salvation. Sankara believed in efficacy of knowledge. For attaining salvation, Ramanuja believed in efficacy of bhakti. For attaining salvation, concepts are different. The Brahma of Ramanuja was Saguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma means a Brahma or the God with attributes or with definite form. So this paved the way for image worship. In Saguna Brahma, image worship is possible, or the Saguna Brahma followers worship images. Nirguna Brahma does not have any attributes, so no image worship is possible. So Ramanuja was part of tradition of acharyas, had Sringeri Matha, differed from Sankaracharya in a significant way. He believed in Saguna Brahma, efficacy of bhakti. Sankara believed in efficacy of knowledge. During early medieval age, we find significant developments in the field of land grants. So you should understand what do you mean by the term land grant. When you say land grant, this means granting a revenue of a piece of land to someone. This someone could be a temple, this someone could be a landlord, this someone could be a priest, this someone could be an officer, this someone could be anybody. Think of a village. Suppose there's a village. Bhojpur, any name. And now this village is having some peasants, and this village is supposed to pay a certain amount of revenue, land revenue to state. Or you can say this village is supposed to pay a certain amount of tax to state. When land grant was issued, it means that this particular receiver of land grant got the right to receive this land revenue on behalf of a state. Land grant did not mean transfer of land ownership. If there are 100 farmers here or the peasants working, they'll keep on working, they'll keep on controlling the land, they will just pay a revenue to this person who got land grant. That is land grant. The earliest example of land grant in Indian history comes from Satvahana period. Satvahana period. Satvahana king Satkarni first issued land grant in something around 180 BC. So this is post-Mauryan age. We have covered this particular fact earlier also. So Satvahana king Satkarni first was the first king to issue land grants to Brahmana priests. Satvahana issued land grants to Buddhist monasteries also. Satavahanas later on followed by Guptas, or Gupta period came after post-Mauryan age. During Gupta age we find land grants increasing in number, and during early medieval age land grants were very, very frequent. So land grants played an important role in weakening a state. The central authority was significantly weakened because these receivers of land grant started behaving like local kings. At times hundreds of villages, at times thousands of villages were granted by states to powerful feudal lords or powerful military commanders, and they became kings in themselves. So land grants weakened the central authority, land grants affected the revenue income of the state, and slowly the king started depending on these feudal lords for his military, for his survival. That is what we say feudal age. So early medieval age was known as feudal age, and this age was the feudal age because powerful feudal lords were dominating political, social, economic and cultural life during this period. Cultural developments in India during post-Gupta period. Post-Gupta period, you can say 550 to 750 AD, and early medieval age 750 to 1200 AD. So we'll see both simultaneously. During post-Gupta period, we find progress in the field of literature. Recall from the last class, Banabhatta was in the court of Harshvardhan. He wrote Kadambari and Harcharita. During early medieval age, Rajsekhar was a prominent writer. He wrote Karpura Manjari. He was a very famous writer. During early medieval age, here we find progress in the field of art and architecture, but in peninsular India. Recall from the last class, under the patronage of Chalukyas of Vatapi, Vesara style of architecture emerged. The Pallavas of South Kanchipuram, thereafter Cholas, patronized the Dravidian style of architecture. Large number of temples were constructed. So this was the kind of progress. We find here one important development. The social status of Shudras. Shudras were the fourth Varna, improved here. Because Shudras were involved in agricultural activities, this was the age of remarkable progress in agriculture. The secondary and tertiary activities were not that well developed, so economy was dependent on agriculture. Anybody who was practicing agriculture was enjoying high social and economic status during early medieval age. So all these things you need to see about post-Gupta as well as early medieval age. What were the changes in Varna system? Try to differentiate between Varna and caste. Varna means four. Brahmana, Varna, topmost, followed by Kshatriya, Varna, number 2. Third, Vaishya Varna. Fourth, Shudra Varna. So Shudras were lowest. Vaishyas number 3, Brahmana number 1, and Kshatriya number 2. This is Varna. Originally, Varna means skin color. So these were among Aryans. They were people of white skin. Over the period of time, many different professions emerged among these Varnas. And these professional groups came to be known as caste. So each of this was a caste, let's say caste 1, caste 2, caste 3, caste 1 here among Shudras, caste 2 among Shudras, caste 3 among Shudras. So caste is basically a subset of Varna. Each Varna developed different caste or a large number of caste on the basis of practice of different professions. So Varna system was older, caste system came up much later. Caste is a subset of Varna or is a sub-Varna feature. During post-Gupta early medieval age, PC post-Gupta EMA early medieval age, large number of new castes came into existence. Because of the decline of old professions or decline of trade commerce, decline of arts and crafts, and because of the emergence of new professions. So economy changed, so professions changed, and as the new professions emerged, new castes came into existence. Caste means a group that maintains distance from others. What are the distance? Distance number 1 in terms of marriage, caste endogamy. They marry within the caste and they do not marry with outside the caste. Caste is determined on the basis of birth. So caste is birth-based, it cannot be changed, and caste endogamy is followed. Developments in the field of science and tech during ancient times. Science and tech means you should see progress in the field of mathematics, some brief, progress in the field of astronomy, progress in the field of medical science, and progress in the field of metallurgy. If you look at mathematics here, Aryabhatta was a great mathematician. Varahamihir was a great mathematician. Brahmagupta was a great mathematician. Bhaskaracharya was a great mathematician. And all of these were astronomers also. Aryabhatta invented decimal system, number system, numerals from 2 to 9 were invented by him. He also invented laws of trigonometry, algebra. Brahmagupta developed the laws of using surds. Bhaskaracharya wrote a book, Siddhanta Siromani, and a chapter of that book is Lilavati. Lilavati chapter is so big, it deals with mathematics, and because of this big size, it is often termed as a separate book. So they were great mathematicians. Similarly, we will see astronomy, medical science. Let us see metallurgy first. Metallurgy witnessed remarkable progress. India used to make the best steel in the world in ancient age. This steel was known as Wurtz. This is an example of that steel, Wurtz steel, and it was world famous for its best quality. This steel was superior even to the modern varieties of steel. So Indians were great metallurgists in ancient times. If you look at astronomy, Aryabhatta explained the true causes of lunar and solar eclipse. He was the first to state that Earth rotates on its own axis. He estimated the circumference of Earth, the radius of Earth, and his estimations are very, very close to modern calculations. Brahmagupta said that Earth has a natural tendency to attract everything towards itself. So he was like saying or anticipating Newton that Earth has gravity. So these astronomers made significant progress. Varahamihir and Bhaskaracharya were also great astronomers. They studied the motion of heavenly bodies and developed the laws which control their motions. The last part of today's class, medical science. Medical science in ancient age had two branches, medicine branch and surgical branch. Surgical branch was centered at Banaras, or the Banaras was the main center of surgical branch of medical science. Taxila was the main center of medicine branch. Taxila or Taxila simply. Charak was associated with medicine branch and he wrote Charak Samhita. It carries forward the knowledge of Ayurveda. And here Sushruta was the greatest surgeon. He wrote a book, Sushruta Samhita. This was the first book of surgery. It explains different methods of performing operations, different kind of medical instruments, anesthesia, everything is mentioned here. Then we have couple of more important names here. There was a great physician, Nagarjuna. He discovered the medicinal properties of metals, and he also discovered Ras Chikitsha. Ras Chikitsha means curing the disease with the help of plant extracts, ras. Then you have Dhanvantri in Gupta times. He was a great physician. Jivaka was a great physician in Buddha's times. Jivak, he was the court physician of Bimbisara. Recall Bimbisara of Haryanka dynasty. Bimbisara sent Jivak to Avanti or Ujjain to cure Chandraprado, the ruler of Avanti, of jaundice. So all these developments you should know in medical science. The sages used to be associated with every branch of learning, whether that is mathematics or medical science or astronomy, and they used to use this knowledge of geometry at times to manufacture or to make these fire altars. Apastambha was one such prominent mathematician who for the first time developed geometrical skills or developed the methods of making fire altars of different shapes and sizes. So all these things you should know about ancient India. Note down these points and merge them with the points that you note from NCERT, combine together, revise them repeatedly. Always keep revising. Everything that you learn in a week should revise at least once. If you face any difficulty anywhere, always feel free to contact me through teacher support, and I'm always here to help you. So keep learning, keep moving ahead. All the best. God bless you.